Star Wars 7x7 episode 2061. Today we're going to start putting some of the events of season 7 episode 1 of the Clone Wars, The Bad Batch, into context. And that means that we're going to go all the way back to season 3 episode 18, and that's the Citadel and a Clone Wars briefing thereof. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, welcome to Star Wars 7x7. I'm your host Alan Voivod, and funnily enough, I had already done the Clone Wars briefing for the Citadel previously, but that was actually the last Clone Wars briefing I had done. For some unexplained reason, I stopped doing the briefings. I've gone back through the records. I'm not sure why or how it happened. I was supposed to be doing them on a weekly basis, but I guess news related to other Star Wars projects just kept pushing it further and further down the line, and we just stopped doing them. So I guess over time we will fill some of those in. It's particularly season 4 and season 5 that you still need briefings here on the show, and that whole completist mentality, well, yeah, that's gonna kick in on me at some point. But for today, we're going to talk about the Citadel, which is the first of a 3-part story arc that bears directly on the first story arc of season 7 of the Clone Wars. And I'm going to bring the audio for that episode in after the break. It's episode 1100, actually. It was nearly 1,000 episodes ago that we did this, which is crazy, but anyway. So before we head to the break and we head to the briefing for the Citadel episode, I just want to say thank you, as always, for joining me for the show, and may the Force be with you wherever in the galaxy you may be. Now, stay tuned right after the break, the Clone Wars briefing for the Citadel. Hey Rebel Rouser, I've made some changes to the asteroid belt level at patreon.com/SW7x7, and they are all with sponsors in mind. So if you want to get the word out about your business, your product, your service to a dedicated Star Wars audience, then please check out patreon.com/SW7x7 and look for the asteroid belt level for details. Again, that's patreon.com/SW7x7.
This Jedi Master, Even Piell, has developed knowledge of a secret hyperspace lane called the Nexus Route, and it can actually connect Republic and Separatist homeworlds. It can go deep into their territory on both sides. But his ship has been attacked, and he and his command crew have been taken to the Citadel, a prison deep inside Separatist territory, and apparently, according to the Jedi, deciding that they're going to break into this place. It's a place that's never been broken out of. It is a prison designed specifically to hold Jedi. So Obi-Wan and Anakin are going to lead a strike team in to rescue Master Piell. They don't know anything about the command crew being captured as well, or the necessity of breaking them out at the beginning of the episode. And it's just going to be them. Ahsoka is going to be left behind, which Anakin didn't initially want to tell her, but he says, hey, this one is a do-or-die one. It's not for Padawans. So we get Ahsoka going over Anakin's head, or going sideways on him, basically, and talking to Master Plo Koon. And there's already a special relationship developed between Plo Koon and Ahsoka Tano because of the fact that Plo Koon is the Jedi who found Ahsoka and actually brought her to the Jedi Temple. So that relationship is deeply ingrained inside Dave Filoni's head, and that's coming out in bits and pieces in the Clone Wars, like the situation where Ahsoka basically complains and says, Master Anakin isn't letting me go on this mission, and I don't think it's right that he gets to decide when I should be in danger or not. I should be able to make that decision. So Plo Koon decides to subvert Anakin's orders and get Ahsoka on the transport that's taking them to the Citadel. But how does he do that without Anakin knowing? Well, I'll tell you about that in a second, because it involves a really clever plan that, ooh, yeah, when I saw this happen, I was like, ooh, this is good. But first, they have to get R2-D2 involved, and there's a great scene with R2 and 3PO here. R2-D2 comes rolling into the landing bay with 3 battle droids trailing along behind him, much to 3PO's dismay.
R2, look out! Behind you! You're being followed by battle droids! These are your troops. They're battle droids. What Do you mean they've been reprogrammed to follow your orders?
We are awaiting your word, Commander. You heard him. Move out.
Don't you go thumbing your gears at me just because you have a bunch of dim-witted droids following you about. Really?
Now that is nothing short of awesome. R2-D2 has given himself the rank of commander and is ordering around these battle droids. So they're going to be steering the shuttle, and the passengers, the Jedi and the clone troopers that are going on the mission, well, how do you avoid the lifeform readings? You put everyone in carbon freeze. That's right. Anakin's big idea is to put everyone in hibernation through carbon freeze and have everybody woken up after they've gotten past all the scans and landed on the planet where the Citadel is. So naturally, your mind immediately jumps back to Darth Vader striding around the Cloud City carbon freezing chamber going, "This facility is crude, but it should be adequate to freeze Skywalker for his journey to the Emperor." I know it's a terrible James Earl Jones, okay? Just bear with me. Anyway, yeah, now you have a whole different context to look at that scene, because 2 decades before that, Anakin came up with an idea to have everybody carbon frozen for a mission, which of course means this facility in this episode is not crude by any stretch. And R2-D2 watches the proceedings, and there's a little sad boop from him as he watches, and your initial reaction is, oh, he knows because he knows Han Solo getting carbon frozen and all that. But then you remember, oh, wait a minute, R2-D2 wasn't even there for the carbon freezing. I mean, maybe when he was bumping into Luke's leg, he might have gotten a glimpse of the thing going by, but not really. Although he did get a look at it briefly in Jabba's palace before he was brought down to the dungeons. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely meant for you to echo back to The Empire Strikes Back. And it is wicked cool, it really was. I thought, what a fantastic idea. And so they get to the prison, and the prison is run by a character named O.C. Sobek, who sounds like a cross between Chaz Palminteri and Steve Buscemi. Check this out.
Fear. A Jedi spends his whole life training against it. But at the Citadel, breaking Jedi is our specialty. Within these walls, they will learn to fear us. And if not, they die.
And he's got a bunch of commando droids at his beck and call as well. We've seen these before, I guess, way back in Season 1, the Rookies episode, they had commando droids. So, yeah, not necessarily new, but certainly the Jedi have a lot of problems with them, and there are all sorts of death traps and problems as they work their way through the prison. But they rescue Even Piell, and Evan says that they wiped all the computers, and he memorized half of the details of the hyperspace route, and his captain has the other half memorized, so they have to go get the captain out of jail. And who does that captain turn out to be? Well, that is rather a surprise.
General,
Captain Tarkin.
I never thought I'd see you again. And you brought friends.
Tarkin, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker.
How about that, right? Holy cow. Wulf Tarkin in his first appearance in the Clone Wars TV series. And it's definitely a testy one. The first major exchange between Anakin Skywalker and Wulf Tarkin does not go very politely.
It's when things don't go as planned that we Jedi are at our best. Trust me.
I reserve my trust for those who take action, General Skywalker.
Then let me remind you, we rescued you back there, and I reserve my trust for those who understand gratitude, Captain Tarkin.
And that exchange happens at the end of the episode. This is the first of a 3-part story arc, and so we'll have to see how it unfolds.
7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.